All right, so basically the thing about Deadpool 2 is it's essentially Deadpool 1 just with time travel. Well, let's start the show. We're going to bring in the rattlesnake because he has the same name. How are you doing, sir?
Hello, how you doing, James? Oh, Mr. Fourth World, I'm still here reeling off of Stone Cold Day. Had a great time that day. It was an
As you
awesome
should.
still Stone Cold week. 25 years of Stone Cold, if you know what I'm saying, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. So now I introduce the rest of our people.
Have you recovered from that movie?
No, I have not.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you may not know this, but the next host coming in here gave that movie a thumbs up. Is See the Superior. How are you doing?
I did. I did. I stand by my decision. I give it a thumbs up. Tactical Force deserves a thumbs up. You heard it here first.
You heard it right there first. And Chris is still recovering from watching the movie. He's been in the hospital for the past few days. Please pray for him. Hopefully my movie next Thursday will cure him and he'll be back on the show and he'll get better. But Vic did put him in the hospital, and Vic, you are to blame for that. But tonight is Deadpool 2, and hopefully we can lighten someone's evening up tonight. Chrissy is sipping something in a McDonald's cup. It's not McDonald's tea.
It is tea.
We're going to get to our first segment, best of worst of, after I read the synopsis. This is the almost penultimate of the X-Men series that we've been doing. This long trial and tribulation for Chrissy is almost over. She's been praying about this for a long, long time, but she has 2 more movies to go after this, and so do you to look forward to. But here's the synopsis for Deadpool 2. After Vanessa's death, Wade believes he has nothing else to live for and joins the X-Men. Following a message from beyond the grave, he starts to think his answers lie in aiding a young mutant being hunted by a grieving man from the future. And that essentially is a synopsis for Deadpool 2. As I said, very similar, except with time travel, to Deadpool 1. Who would like to take the first segment in best of or worst of?
I'll go first.
All right.
Because my scenes is probably going to be a lot of you all scenes. I'm not sure, but I'm going to, make a lucky guess.
Okay.
A la Domino. And say that these might be one of you all's favorite scenes. My first favorite scene is the interview for the superhero scene. That was hilarious. I like Peter. See, there we go, rattlesnake. I like Peter in there, that he's just this random nobody, but he gets on the team. Okay. I like seeing the faces, what's his name? Skarsgård was in there. Mm-hmm. We got the reveal later in my other favorite scene of Brad Pitt was also there.
We find out what happened to Louis after Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, that's what happened to him. We found out this is a sequel in more ways than one. But that leads to my next favorite scene that happened soon after, the skydiving scene, because that was just comedy all around. I stole it from Vic, yay for me, but it was just funny, even with Peter, just not, jumping off like everybody in Deadpool, ushering him off, how everyone else dies except for Domino, because that's her power set. She's lucky. Mm-hmm. I just thought it was just really creative how they did these deaths. And it was just super funny. So those were my 2 favorite scenes. My least favorite scene was the scene closer to the end where Wade gets his reunion with Vanessa in heaven or the afterlife. I didn't like it because it just seems like a little cliche about, oh yeah, it's not your time, go back. That it's been done so many times. So that was probably my least favorite scene.
Okay, I might come back to that, and I'm curious to know what you all think on that. But I'll wait till my go around to say fully what I mean by that. Vic, did you want to jump in, or you want me to go?
I'll go. Well, all right. I'll start with my least favorite scene, and that was in the beginning when they killed Dr. Lee. And I say Dr. Lee because I fell in love with that actress when I was watching Gotham. So I was so.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you tell us what you're talking about?
She was the girlfriend. Her name was Vanessa in this movie.
Oh, Morena.
Oh, okay.
I'm like,
her name was Vanessa in this movie, but she was Dr. Lee in Gotham, right? So when I saw her, I was like, oh yeah.
Chrissy, he's been weeding his way with this Gotham every episode. Believe me, backstage and on live, he's been trying to push
Gotham, pitching for Gotham.
I mean, it's kind of late because it ended last year, but I mean, yo, that show was fire. But anyway,
to be fair, Deadpool 2 did come out a couple of years ago,
and I was happy to see her. So when she got killed, and mind you, like I liked her in the first movie. So when she got killed, I was sad. Like I didn't, you know.
Were you shocked when you first saw this movie? I don't know if you saw it in the theater or tonight, first time, but were you shocked when they killed her?
No, that was the main
thing. Did you expected that to happen, or?
I mean, I didn't expect it to happen. I wasn't shocked when it happened, but I was sad when it happened. I was like, all right, you know, this is the reason why he's trying to kill himself and all of that. You know what I mean?
Of course, did that. I'm sorry. Did that catch you off guard when she was shot?
It didn't, because I figured they would try to make a way for him to be, you know, Vanessa's like the only thing that he cares about. So with her being gone, he's more, you know, the Deadpool that we're more familiar with. Like he's more, you know, devil may care kind of attitude.
Okay.
So it didn't shock me that they killed her, but I think that the way that they killed her was, you know, well, you know, I don't want anyone to die, but as far as the death scene, it was a good death scene.
Okay.
I mean, I was sad because she was the thing that made him so happy, especially after becoming an avocado face and all of that. And she loved him and all of that. It was real love. So I was sad for him because it was hard for him to, like, you know, get her back.
Chris, for your well-being after last episode, we told everybody it was Vic's fault that you have been feeling bad because of that movie, but you're back. Chris, how are you doing?
Well, I mean,
I want to say, that I was.
We're all waiting to hear what's going on.
I was waiting. I was trying to be patient and wait for Vic. I want to say that I was in the hospital, but unfortunately, this is Deadpool, right? So we're breaking the fourth wall. I was not in the hospital. I was unfortunately running a little bit late due to prior commitments that ran over. However, I'm here now, and I look like I made it just in time because we don't have banners up. But go ahead. I apologize, Vic. You're doing your best of stuff.
Vic was just talking about Gotham.
He passed Gotham. He passed Gotham. There's always a thing.
Every time that we saw Poison Ivy's greenhouse.
Here we go.
Hashtag I am good.
Here we go.
Shout out! Watch out for the plant shows.
Wait, she played Pamela Isley. Morena Baccarin played Pamela Isley in Gotham.
No, she played. You're going to be upset. She played. Oh God, what's that doctor that helped Bruce?
The old one.
Nah, she was young.
Yeah.
No, in the comics she's old.
She was young in Gotham. In the comics, in the comics and the show, she's older.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm not watching.
Well, remember, Bruce,
I'm sorry.
What movie is this?
But remember, Bruce is young.
Yeah, Bruce is young, and so all his villains are geriatric by the time he's a grown man. That's why I'm not watching Gotham.
You're missing a good show. Well, you missed out on a good show. It was a good show.
You did. You really did.
And I'll never know.
Anyway.
What's that from? And you'll never have to. That's my version of that. I'll never know.
Dark Knight 2000. I mean, no, Batman Begins 2005. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, you'll never have to.
No, I changed it.
Rattlesnake. I apologize. I apologize for Fourth World interrupting you so much, but if you can't,
you know what I mean. Your best stuff, worst stuff. Deadpool 2 tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, if you have HBO Max after our show tomorrow, you need to get on it because we will be talking about it. Chrissy has been bugging me about this movie, but tonight is Deadpool 2. I will not talk about it. But if you know comics, if you have Google, if you can operate your smartphone, it is Fourth World.
This is the guy that's supposed to be talking right now. I completely agree with you.
Matter. You came in here late. We're getting to it.
Wait, I'm downloading the movie.
We're breaking the fourth wall all evening. So let's get back on track. And Vic was speaking on his best stuff, worst stuff. So please continue, Vic.
Damn, 3 gigs. Anyway, so
yeah,
okay. I love this movie because it was rooted in sarcasm. There was sarcasm all over this damn movie. Everything was funny. All of the scenes, even the little boy talking about, I'm like Tupac, you're like Ice Cube. Like it was just all of the stuff was just hilarious. Yeah, especially the moment where they showed all of the X-Men when he was complaining about how it's just them two. How come the the writers didn't want to put all of the other X-Men, and then all of a sudden you see them in the next room. That was hilarious. Everything from the movie credits, just starting from the beginning to the very end, everything was just freaking funny. I could not stop laughing. I am actually glad that I did not see this movie in the theaters because I would have been laughing way too loudly.
Was tonight the first night that you saw, first time rather that you saw this movie?
The fifth time I seen it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt Vic is because his best of worst of is basically his synopsis for the entire film and all of our best of and worst of, as he would admit to himself if he is an honest person, which he is. Chris is laughing because he too knows I'm right, but he can't admit that because, as he says, he's ego driven. I respect that because I have an ego as well. Let me get to mine because Chris wants to go last because he always says I go last, always has something to say. Chris, what's in that cup, by the way?
This is hot tea. That's cold tea.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, one is Coca-Cola. The other one is, you guessed it. All right. So I have a bunch of best of. I enjoyed this movie to a certain respect. I'll get to some of the things that I didn't like later. I like the 9 to 5 sequence in the beginning of the movie. 9 to 5 being the song that Dolly Parton sings, as he says, "Hit it, Dolly." If you understand that reference, also the movie the same name. As Vic alluded to in his synopsis of the entire film, I like when the X-Men closed the door on Deadpool. You know, here's our cameo. The first one made a lot of money. You can afford us now, but we're still closing the door. And that's something that the X-Men will do because nobody likes them apparently in universe, right? I like that Deadpool was unfazed in prison. You're welcome, Charles. Great name, by the way. What are we doing? Why are we not putting that up there? What?
Hi, Charles.
Is that weird or something? Who keeps doing that?
Thank you for tuning in. I don't know who's doing it, but thanks for tuning in. I was interested in your best. I was really enthralled into it.
Yeah, I know, but I was putting up the thing. People kept taking it down. I'm like, what's going on? Anyway, Charles, thank you. Nice name. I like that Deadpool was unfazed in prison. Why? Because that's who his character is. That's how he would be. As Chrissy said, devil may care, right? I like what is it? Shooting right through the at the end this movie is, by the way, it's almost like Guardians of the Galaxy in the sense that they have like different tunes throughout for key segments. In the end of the movie, they have a song called "In Your Eyes," right? That's playing. I think it's Peter Gabriel or something like that. I like that moment. That's another cool scene. Chrissy mentioned half of this. Again, I agree with that. Domino. I like Domino. And I like that big cameo of Vanisher. If you haven't seen this movie, spoiler alert, there goes your warning. It was Brad Pitt. That's what we were talking about Louis from Interview with the Vampire. It was cool to see him just in that split second. The fact that an A-list star would do that was really, really cool. The fact that we see, again, an homage and almost a friendly rivalry with Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, Logan. I would love to see the behind the stage. I would love to have Wolverine show up in some capacity. Current Hugh Jackman show up in Deadpool 3. That would, just to do even a small cameo, would love it. That would be incredible. If he did the whole movie, that would be great. I like the fact that when he was in the X Mansion, he's wearing Cerebro and he's just messing with Colossus the whole time. It was funny to me. It was goofy, childish, but it worked for the character. Let me just jump to something that I didn't like, right? Dopinder. I will get more into that in my recasted segment, but I didn't like his character, suffice to say, because in the first one he is played as a stereotype, and in this one he's still that stereotype. Again, I'll explain more in my recasted, but I did not care for Dopinder. I actually liked him more so in the first one because that's the first time we're meeting the character. In the sequel, when he's still this juvenile, I'll say, this man-child, I didn't like that. There was no growth for him and everything like that. And again, more into that on my recast. But Chris, it is your go if you have it.
All right, mine is going to be unpopular, believe it or not. Okay. I actually did not like the whole interview and the parachute thing with them coming down and Brad Pitt. All that thing was stupid to me. Didn't need to see it. It was a waste of time and space. So I did not like that. That was the worst scene. My best scene, I liked the opening credits. And if you pay paying attention in the month of December, or you just happen to know me, we know a huge James Bond fanatic, and to be combined the James Bond along with the interesting quipsing that he does so very well, that being Ryan Reynolds. I like the opening scene where Vanessa got killed. I was not surprised, but I liked it. I thought it was really good. And I like the final act, the whole final battle. There's some things I did not like about it, but as a whole, I did really enjoy it. And really, it for me. Oh, I like the jailbreak. I thought, or whatever you want to say. I like that. So that's really it for my best of worst of things.
Oh, you mixed it all in there together. Okay, I see what you did. All right, well, can you just explain when you said that you liked the first segment? What was it when he was hunting down those people, or more so when they broke into the apartment and was trying to go after him? Which part were you talking about?
Both.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris is a one-word type of person. We made a joke about this last.
I mean, because I'm not going to tell about it. I like both. I thought it was very well executed.
Very nice. So let's go into our first commercial break. I believe we're going into, what movie are we doing next? We'll find out in just a moment.
Hey, with us, ladies and gentlemen. Pop back in 20 seconds.
New Mutants, no, Dark Phoenix.
I think. Thank you.
Sometimes you want to believe people are something that they are not. By the time you realize who they are, it's too late.
All right, so we will be doing Dark Phoenix, which is really exciting. I've actually never seen that one. I kind of close my eyes when it comes to X-Men movies. So I guess I'll have to peel one open to enjoy Dark Phoenix with the rest of you all. But we're getting into Deadpool 2. We're going into our next segment, of course, which is quotables. So, ladies first. Well, thank you, fellas. I'll go right ahead. So my quotable for this movie Deadpool that we are on, not Dark Phoenix, is okay. So again, I mentioned that I really enjoyed Peter from X-Force. So this was one scene in the when they're about to do the skydiving scene. I said was my favorite. And Deadpool, he's like, getting in his face, getting in Peter's face, like, but then he whispers to him, said, I'm only yelling to impress the other guys. I'll never let anything happen to you, Sugar Bear. And it's like the way he coddles him is so funny and like adorable. So I thought that was a good quotable. And hopefully no one else picked that. I picked it because I was thinking no one else would pick it. But who would like to go next? Anyone at all?
The one quote.
I just had the one quote.
Okay. As she offered, anybody want to go next?
Okay, let's see. All right. Okay. Yes. Use all of your imaginary shot powers to make sure Cable doesn't kill that kid. That was hilarious. When they were doing the gun chase, when they were chasing Cable and Cable was trying to kill the kid, and he still doesn't understand how the lucky girl has her powers, which is great because in every sequence she's just like doing all of this wild stuff, which she really turned out to be quite a badass. I wonder if she was ever like actually in the comics. Let's see. And then the other thing, when he was fighting Juggernaut and then he started fanboying with Juggernaut, that was freaking awesome. And he was just like, that's such a Juggernaut thing to say. That was just hilarious because he was just sitting there just like, yay, Juggernaut. That was great. And the Weasel guy, I forgot his name. I loved him. He was just rooted in sarcasm. That guy was just awesome. What did he say? I'm here to help us gear up so we can go after him without me. Yo, that shit had me dying. I'm just like, he comes in with the guns. Yo, the last one. No, and then when Cable shows up and Cable is all like, no, I'm going into my utility bag. And he just points at him. He's just like, it's a goddamn fanny bag, you sick son of a bitch. This movie!
As Vic says, he's still riding high from his 316.
I already know. I don't need to say nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already know. You know what I mean? Like, for real.
What's going on, Joe?
Hi, Jeff.
I love this movie. All right, I'm done.
Who's next? Fourth World or Don't Mind Me?
Oh shoot, I didn't change that.
All right, I'll go. I think he's working on something. All right, so I'm gonna give some quotes that I think I would actually say. I'm gonna switch it up tonight, but one quote I'm gonna start with is something that I thought was very characteristic of who Deadpool really is. Wade Wilson, okay, Wade Wilson more so than Deadpool, his moniker, right? And that's when they first go to the school, and he sees those marks, those torture marks on Fire Fist on his neck, right? And he goes, where is it? Those guys hurt you? Who? And like all the joking, all the laughing and kitty stuff goes out though. It's almost parental. And it was really a warm moment, a warm beat between these two characters. Somebody who he hasn't met before. He doesn't have any personal relationship with this kid, but it was the fact that somebody hurt a kid, and that's a continuation of something that we saw in the first movie when I think that she was supposed to be a teenager. She was being harassed by the pizza guy, the delivery guy that kept stalking her and everything like that. That he has a moral code, and again, I think it's important. As I say with certain things, if you have superpowered beings, there has to be a limit. There has to be a boundary so we know what the rules are. Otherwise, we can't fully engage. If they're a killer, we have to know are they just like Jason, Voorhees, or is there a code to it? That way we know who to root for. And I like that they showed and they upkept that he has a moral code and he doesn't play when it comes to hurting children and everything like that, and all the jokey went out the way, and he was willing to risk it all to take out those people for what he perceived, because the kid never said they did hurt me. He knew it immediately, as he says to Colossus. You can tell just by looking at him or something like that they hurt him, and we have to do something. And that's when he gives another line. I'm not going to say. I wrote it down, but essentially saying that sometimes you can't fight fair. And sometimes you got to fight dirty, to Colossus, who's like essentially the Boy Scout. And he says, and I fight dirty. So I like that. It was just a nice character beat for that. These lines are just something that I would say. The second one I thought was really, really funny. When Cable asks him, who are you? And he does the growl voice, I'm Batman. That's hilarious to me. Again, it's a fourth wall type of thing. But it's something I've been trying to figure out a way to say in my everyday life. I guarantee you that there's going to be one day that I'm going to get to say something similar to it. I don't care how goofy it sounds, but I want to say it deadpan too, okay? Because it's just hilarious to me. These are things that I would say and have said. Some variation may apply, okay? You stole that from RoboCop. Chris and I have this thing. You may have caught it on the show, but in real life, we'll often talk to each other in quotes from movies, right? We'll often do this with other people and talk to them pure quote from different movies and jump from film to film to film, and they'll look quizzical, but he and I will be laughing at it because we'll know what we're talking about, okay? And so when somebody does that to us or we do that to one another, we'll oftentimes, thank you, Jeff, we'll oftentimes name the film, right? And we'll do that and everything like that. And that's just a game that we play. So when he goes, you stole that from RoboCop, I like that they caught that reference, right? Here's something that I would say often. What kind of dummy question is that to ask? I've said that plenty of times because I often think that people ask ridiculous questions and they know it's stupid. So I say, what kind of dummy question is that to ask? That's just something that I do. I like the scene where I forget her name, but Wade's former roommate, she goes, "What the hell's happening?" And because she's blind, she's like, "Describe it." I thought that was hilarious to me because what else is a blind person gonna say but describe it? It's so messed up, but it's hilarious to me. It's so stupid, because it sounds weird, like I'm seeing it and this man with baby legs walking, a man from the future pops in, these strangers in my house. What the hell's happening? Describe it to me, please. It's comedy, right? As Chris might say. And the last one is what Vic said, and I have to just read it because I wrote it down. And it's funny because the guy is so true to who he is. I'm willing to help you to a certain point, but I'm not going farther. And you and I both know that, yes? And this is what he goes. The time traveler's wife's husband beat me within an inch of my life. He was torturing me, but all I told him was everything he wanted to know. That to me is funny, okay? Because of course the setup is I didn't tell him anything. He said, "No, I told him everything. I told him everything he wanted to know because he was beating me within an inch of my life." So I'm here to help us gear up so we can go after him without me. Meaning, I hope you get the guns because I want you to get revenge for me, but I'm not willing to risk my life. I like that. Again, being true to who you are. It was just so funny to me. That's my quote.
I definitely give you kudos for that last one. I thought that was like hilarious the way he was like without me. That's funny. I would say that on certain things too. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Quotes this movie. And we're going to start with this one. This was a conversation between Cable and Deadpool. Cable says, "You remind me of my wife." And then I'm sorry, Deadpool's like, "Sorry, I'm sorry." And then Cable started talking. And then Deadpool says, "No, I'm sorry that you said that while making heavy eye contact and applying lip balm." I completely agree. Which ironically happened in the same scene that James was just talking about. That was just a very funny scene between the baby legs and "That's not my hand," and the conversation with Cable and Deadpool and everything was funny. Here's another one. "You killed Black Tom, you racist son of a female dog." Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
I go around calling people racist. There aren't racists all the time. I know I shouldn't, but it's funny to me sometimes. So when he did this, it just, brought a tear to my eye because it's a chip off the old block. So I want to give that one. This one was a rhetorical question. What do you get when you take an 8 feet of chrome, 1 pinch of courage, a cup of good luck, a dab of racism, the splash of diabetes, and a wheelbarrow of stage 4 cancer, a family? Mm-hmm. Ryan Reynolds' delivery in a lot of these lines makes a joke that's not funny. And I just have to say, I have to give him a lot of credit for that. But those are my quotes. Let's go on to the next segment, which is Recasted, where we take something from the movie and we put something there that we think will be just as good, if not better. And see, you're on this lady's first night, which is fine. I'm a firm believer in that. You go ahead with this one too, darling. Recasted is all you, queen of Recasted.
All right. I'm glad we are all in agreement. So it was a little difficult for me to recast this movie. But I was able to do it, eventually. So my recasted goes for our boy, Deadpool. Now, we all think he did a great job. Ryan Reynolds is this role. This is him. But I said, okay, if I had to recast him, right, who do I think could do this role? And based on his body of work and, his personality that comes across on screen, I feel that Evan Peters could perform this role. I know he's played Quicksilver in the other X-Men movies, but this is separate that from this. I feel like he could do a good or a decent job as Deadpool if he were to take on the role. And that's my recasting.
I'm debating that one because I see what you mean, because you
see it.
You see it. His acting range is phenomenal. If you've seen his work, so he could do it, but I think he might be too young. That's the only reason why I hesitate to say that. But it's not like you're wrong on that recast. I'd have to agree with that. But it just seems like he's young. You know what I mean? Okay. But he did play March in American Horror Story Hotel, who's supposed to be an older guy. So You never
he
know.
can pull
Well, he's
a
also-
role, you know, he can pull it.
He's also wearing masks, so and prosthetics. So it's like, how much do you have to look young or old for the part at this point?
Mhm.
Well, I mean more the sound of his voice. The sound of, like, that's what I'm saying.
His sound of voice makes him seem younger than he actually is. He's not as young as you think. But
Well,
I'm not
I think-
defending or according, you know.
I purposely think See the Superior's recasting was horrible, but that's just my opinion. So does anybody want to go next?
Why do you think it's horrible?
Because it's horrible.
Because
You can tell. I mean,
it's
you're not supposed to
contract.
recast the title character. I'm being real. You recasted the role that needs not to be recasted in this movie. Like,
you recasted Mystique in her own damn movie, the freaking Mystique show on the
To be
last.
fair, that was a cardboard cutout and not actually Mystique. In that
thank you.
position.
Thank you. I
That
recasted
was the title
To be
character.
fair, I gotta be honest on that one.
It was called X-Men Days
I
of Future Mystiques, and you recasted
I
Mystique.
recasted
So-
Mystique with somebody that they already recasted her in the film. Don't you understand?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
We're
I just-
done
I
with
just
you.
pointed out.
We're done with you.
Who's next?
Exactly, Vic.
Who's next on
Vic.
recasting? Who would like to go next?
I got none.
You don't have it in? All right,
Mm-mm.
so what's up with fourth wall in the executive over there?
No,
Because I'm in
I'll go next.
fanboy with this movie, so I could not recast anybody. Like
Yeah.
you saw my reactions earlier. So
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can recast people in this movie, and I want to start off with this guy here. I was not a fan of Roland Legal. And clearly you didn't recast anybody. And then you asked me, you're like, hey, Excellence, why did you recast this guy of all people? And I'll tell you why. Because the same year.
Because he's short, not comic book accurate, like Deadpool
It's
said.
in my birth certificate.
nobody in your birthday.
So- And this year that this movie out was another big comic book movie. It's called Avengers Infinity War, where he was Thanos and he had all these lines. I don't like the fact that I don't like comic book people playing different multiple characters. It just annoys me. So I don't want him there. But I thought the person
Green
who
Lantern.
needed to be Thanos should have been. I didn't agree with him being Green Lantern, but Green Lantern is dead. So stop interrupting. Did I interrupt your crappy
No,
recast?
please continue.
This is who I thought should have been Thanos, not Thanos. Cable. This guy, if you don't know, his name's
I'll give
Stephen
you
Lang.
that.
He is from
I'll give you that.
he's from Avatar.
Yep.
He is from Avatar, and this is an older guy that's bad, but that really could have played this role very, very well.
That's
And
very
if you
true.
really look, if I did this really quickly, you would think it's him. Like, look, he was already prepared for it. He auditioned and everything, but for some reason, because Josh Brolin was so hot at the time, they gave it to him. So, I mean, I can't fully be upset with it because I'm not saying he did a horrible job. I just didn't agree with the casting, if that makes sense. So that's one. Believe it or not, I had another person. Let me tell you the most annoying character in this movie, even though Vic was acting like he was praising him. It's this guy here, Fire Fist, whatever you want to call him. All right, his little pop culture references and everything else annoyed the hell out of me. So I was like, hey, he was causing a lot of destruction, but every time I saw him on the screen, he took up the entire screen. Who else is like that, ladies and gentlemen? This guy right here.
Here we go.
This is who I would
This
recast.
is terrible.
This is who I would recast. What are you talking about? That looks just like him.
Yo, you know why he's telling you you're terrible. Shut up, man.
We are not body shaming here on this show. We will not body shame.
I'm not body shaming. I'm not body shaming. Fire Fist looks like the Stay Puft Power.
What about him? What about him? Remind you. Now, you can give a one-word answer,
If
don't
he
I?
wasn't, I'm about to tell him. I'm about to tell you why. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at this guy, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's be real. Let's be real. Take away the makeup. Take the makeup off. Hat on this. Take the makeup off. Put a hat on his head.
This is a child.
I rest my case. There you go.
This is a child.
There you go.
I will
All right,
not
he was a child.
participate.
Oh, he's a child. Well, let me tell you something. He may have been a child, but this guy right here didn't care. Give 2 F's if he was a child, and neither do I. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not safe from my recast. All right, you think something? Wait till next week. Thursday. But this is my recap.
I've been waiting to see if you're going to bring him back. I've been waiting to see if you'll bring him back. I haven't said anything on purpose. Go ahead.
This is my recasting for this movie, and that's my recasting, James, on you.
Well, listen, Jeff
take out Fire
that your colonel from Avatar is too old. He's like 70 to be playing.
I agree, Jeff.
If you've seen that man's work, I forget the actor's name right now, but if you've seen his other work, he did another movie. Stephen Lang. What's that movie where he plays a blind? Ironically, he plays a blind.
And they break into his house.
Yeah, and it's like don't breathe. Don't breathe. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
He wasn't no 70-year-old in that one. That's phenomenal.
Yes, but that was a couple years before this. Like it's like I don't know.
Chris is talking about we're not going to body shame, but he's too geriatric to play.
Just saying, he is an older male, and if we're supposed to believe he can go toe to toe with Deadpool, I don't know if
it's not blind for Jeff.
But recast.
Who's next? We're about to go into another series called Star Wars, and in that series, there was an 89-year-old man called Count Dooku who's giving you business. So I don't want to hear that. They can make some moves, okay? They can make some moves. I don't want to hear that. Go ahead, Fourth World, take it away. Your recast, please.
All right. Well, the picture wouldn't load up, but I too would agree with Chris for his recast. Now, I tried to get you a full body picture. No, not that one, Chris. This one.
Well,
full body picture. So Deadpool. Now, forget that.
We said full body.
Arm look cyborg, right? Chris, as you said to Chrissy. Now, forget that they're going to CGI his arm later. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying the $10 costume that you and I can afford, but this is a Hollywood production. It's a $110 million budget. None of it went into costumes, at least for Josh Brolin, because this costume looks like trash. It really does. And I wanted to show you a comic book accurate costume so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm so sorry I couldn't put it on the thing. I'm working with Apple. Chrissy knows the frustration now. She can't make fun of me anymore. It's just frustrating, but this is not it. I would recast that costume, and I probably recast Stephen Lang because that's a phenomenal choice. It's just my opinion. Now, early in the show, I told you that I was going to recast this guy right here. This is Dopinder. This is the only picture I could get that would load up. There's the autograph if you want it. And in the first movie, he played. This is a little bit of a deep cut, but if you're familiar with how people of color are depicted in TV shows and everything like that, he played the stereotypical immigrant. Okay, now. James, you always go on this rant. What are you talking about? And everything like that. Okay, fine. Don't believe me, right? But this is Dopinder. Now, how would you describe Dopinder? Rhetorical question, right? Could you replace Dopinder and put Raj? Now, you're going to say that, oh, well, he's another South Asian, right? And that's why you pick him. Okay, could you put Fez? No. All these immigrant characters have the same depiction. Now, this is when they did the Rocky Horror Picture Show, but I remind you, all of the people dressed up as somebody in Rocky Horror Picture Show, he dressed up as the transvestite in the thing. I say that using the term that they used at that time, right? Don't take any offense to it, okay? But typically when you watch shows like that, look at how they depict certain characters, right? Whenever it's the immigrant, it's somebody who has, it's almost like if you watch that 70s show, it's almost like he's a space alien and he's never lived on planet Earth. And even I forget where he's supposed to be from in South America, but he has no, I think Peru or something like that, but he has no concept of what goes on around the world. Neither does Raj. All of them are asexual. All of them are non-threatening, right? All of them are like very docile. And that's Dopinder. And I would recast the way he's depicted. Again, as I said, there's no growth. You can start out like that as he was having a conversation in the first movie with Deadpool, right? And getting and learning his power, learning his self-worth and everything like that. But don't come into the sequel with the same thing. It just annoys me. It really does. That's a personal thing, but I know a lot of other people talk about it. I don't watch the series myself, but I know they have, I think it's Fresh Off the Boat or whatever like that, with the same actor that plays, I believe it's the same actor that plays Agent Jimmy Woo on WandaVision and in the Ant-Man films.
Yeah, he's that.
How his character is depicted. Again, he's an FBI agent. In WandaVision, he's supposed to be a top FBI agent. And yet he's very demure, very docile, very not threatening. or non-threatening, I should say.
Well, that's his character from Ant-Man, though.
Vic, I think you that's my point. It's the same person, obviously. It's the same character, but my point is when it's an immigrant character, typically an Asian, right? But even they do it in Latin America too. Either for the woman, it's over sexualized or something like that. For Fez, they made him an androgynous, homoerotic type character. For Asian men, it's typically an asexual depiction. That's my point. That's why I would recast that. So Jimmy Woo, if you look at that, I think the actor, I forget the actor's name, but he's on that series Fresh Off the Boat. If you look at it, it's a depiction. It's a cycle. It's a Hollywood thing. And I would recast that because I don't care for it. It's not true to life. And as I've always said, I like things that are true to life, right? But lastly, let's get to this one. As Chris calls this character Stave Puff, in the movie, the character's name is Fire Fist. I'll put their picture up now. Chris, I'm going to borrow that picture. Here's another one. There it is right there. Now, this is a boy.
Another one.
Yeah. This is a boy. And at first, when I saw it, I said, oh, well, this is an easy recast. It's going to be this person right here. But I said, no, I've already used that picture. I'm not going to do that. Vic has this surprised look on his face. I don't know why. But clearly, when I looked at this person, it was the same as that person. When that person ran, he was out of breath too, so I figured it was a layup. But then when I looked and I did my homework because I like to do the legwork, I said, no, I can do better than that. And then I realized that Fire Fist was really Raven Simone.
Oh.
And ladies and gentlemen, is my recasted, okay? Now, I mainly recasted this because, again, somewhat the shape. I didn't say the shape was wrong, Chrissy. Don't say I'm shaming anybody. I didn't say the shape was wrong, okay? But mainly the hair. The hair reminded me how he has like a faux hawk, sort of, and she has her mohawk. And that's why I recasted it.
Oh, Olivia.
Tomfoolery.
Ladies and gentlemen, I on behalf of our popular review, I apologize for Fourth World's comments today.
You called this kid a giant piece of fat. Literally. That's what a marshmallow is. A giant piece of fat, Chris. You called it a gigantic demonized fat. That's what you called him.
You thought I was fat because
of the hair, and you want to apologize for me?
There's a lot of shameful things going on in this segment.
This is a marshmallow.
Let's just not repeat it.
Let me get 15 seconds. I have to defend myself because I am telling you right now, I was not doing that to fat shame or anything like that. I would never do that. I'm doing it because you see all those people who look like they're scared. Fire Fist did that.
I can't with you.
So because of that, I said,
take the picture away so you can see him laughing.
It fits.
Yeah,
it
fits.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a small commercial break. We'll come back with our new condensed version of Final Thoughts. Find out what we're going to review next Thursday. Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. Your unpopular review, 20 seconds.
Directing my first feature film. Care for a little shriek preview? For my big screen premiere, I wanted lots of suspense. Special effects. Sex, violence, rights, camera, action.
All right, so it looks like we'll be reviewing another movie I have yet to see called Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. Never heard of it. So we're going to see how that goes next week. We are going into our final thoughts of Deadpool 2. So,
can I say one thing before we get to recast the season? Give me 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Did anybody, when you watch the trailer, when you watch the trailer of Tales of the Crypt, did anybody come to mind when you watched that? Like, I was having flashbacks. That's all I'm saying.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I'll go.
Let's go to final thoughts.
So, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really good. I thought it was as good, maybe better than the first one, either way. I like that they showed how like Deadpool could be really creative with his fighting style. Like he's fighting with a brick one scene. He's fighting with like a cream cheese spreader. The other scene is like, I like that they thought to put that in there. So I'm going to give this movie a thumbs up. Who's next? Anyone? Don't all jump in at once. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Next.
Oh, okay. So clearly, everybody knows how I feel about this movie. I loved every moment of this movie. I had a great time. I like things that are fun. I like things that make me laugh. Everything was rooted in sarcasm, a ton of sarcasm. Everybody had a ton of lines. I would watch it again. Just if I'm sick and I need some laugh therapy, I will watch this movie. That's where I'm at. I usually use Eddie Murphy Delirious, but if I'm sick and I need some laugh therapy, I would watch this movie because it is hilarious. So, yeah. And mind you, it's so funny that like I've been laughing all night and now my head hurts because I've been laughing too much. So, now I'm done.
Fair enough. 2 thumbs up. Fourth World, we are on you.
Did I pick my next movie because I like it? Yes. Did I also pick it because I wanted to see Chris's recasted again? Yes. As Chris says, I'm messy. I'm guilty. I wanted to see him return to that because that just was comedy gold when he first did that. Anyway, I'm surprised that Vic gets another final thoughts when he already gave his at the beginning of the show. But anyway, this is condensed.
Get it out.
Oh, you have more to say? This is condensed.
Oh, I certainly do. Oh.
This is condensed tonight. Let me say this. I didn't care for the whole Vanessa melodrama in this movie. I thought it was too much. At some points, I found it boring. Right? I didn't like Deadpool's whining. But the movie did have a tree in it, so I'm giving it a thumbs up. No, seriously, I enjoyed. That was my homage to Vic. Seriously, though, I enjoyed it much better than the first one. The first one, there were points in the movie where I thought, okay, the shtick is running old, and we need to move this plot along. The second one, I thought that it kept pace better than the first one, and I enjoyed it.
All right, so 3 thumbs up. Now, let's go to mine. Let me tell you about what I really didn't like about this movie. There were 2 characters that just like really annoyed me in this movie. I'm not talking about Brad Pitt vanishing. I'm not talking about Peter. I'm talking about this character right here. And I know this character was very well liked by a lot of people, but understand this character I thought was a little bit down for the movie. And the reason I'm saying, while you're giving me people's eyebrow order, Vic, the reason I'm saying this is because if you really pay attention to Juggernaut, as strong as he is, as powerful as he is, he's never really the main antagonist. Mm-hmm. And it kind of made him this way in Deadpool too. So as happy as I was to see him, he's more of a muscle villain, and I needed another villain to back him up. You know, it wasn't Cable, and it wasn't Fire Fist. So this guy being the main villain kind of was a little bit lacking for me, a little bit anticlimactic. But he did a great job, but wasn't happy with him being the primary antagonist. The second person that really annoyed me is this guy, and it's because he just you mentioned how Deadpool whined a few times in this movie, but nobody whined more than this kid. That's like true. I understand he had his little issues by being the thing, but he got what he wanted. Then he was upset he didn't have a friend, but he was going around shanking people and he wanted to be with friends, and he was causing all this trouble, and he's trying to kill everybody. He was just super annoying. Mm-hmm. You know, everywhere he goes, where's destruction, to the point where I felt Cable's anger, where he wanted to like come out and kill this kid. I was like, you go, Cable. Kill him. But not by the gatekeeper. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to say that this movie all I'm saying is, besides all that, the movie was very enjoyable, very entertaining, a lot of fun. I was surprised they were able to pull it off. Got a 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb.com. Made $780 million worldwide. Cost $110 million to make. Of course, I give this movie a thumbs up. 4 thumbs up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. That is the end of Unpopular Review. Vic, take us home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for once again joining us on another edition of Unpopular Review Entertainment. Tonight was Deadpool 2. It was a hilarious movie. And that will be finishing up Stone Cold Week. You know I'm always gonna plug Stone Cold, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold for 25 years, it's just been amazing. But anyway, love you guys and good night.